the agreement that we have with you people.
That's right.
You people.
We're fulfilling our end of the deal. Pray we don't alter it further. Okay.
Set a course for adventure and your mind on a new romance.
You know, when Vader says, "Pray I don't alter the deal any further," does that that implies that that in that universe there's prayer. There's a concept of prayer. Yeah. You know, and I don't know who knows what they mean by it, but you know, pray to the emperor.
It just may be like a pray, like beg for your life kind of pray.
Yeah.
Like as opposed to a deity. Although have there been races that had like a like a giant statue somewhere, not like the one of the emperor on Coruscant, but like a Buddha or something like that. I don't think we've seen one in the movies, have we?
Not anything, and I'm trying to think of from the shows either. If there's any kind of like ultra, they haven't gotten into like the wacko space religion stuff.
Jedi is the closest thing you get to a religion.
Yeah, and, Jedi and Sith. Those are your your Catholics and your Satanists.
Oh, Darganon points out, and Han says, "See you in hell." So I guess hell exists there as well.
Yeah.
So, it's just basically like translating this language from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away into something we can understand. It may not translate correctly.
Exactly.
And hell.
Yeah, exactly. We got to park our brains. You know.
Yeah,
park exactly. Them. All right, here goes, everybody. Thanks for being here. Show time is upon us, and it begins in 3, 2, 1.
Everyone thinks that his own manners are all right, even if they aren't perfect, and that being correct only helps to spoil fun. Let us compare what these students do and don't do with what we think is right.
Well, what are you waiting for? Somebody to kiss you goodbye?
The Morning Stream. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to TMS. It is the Morning Stream for December 19th, 2024. I'm Scott Johnson, and that's Brian Ibbett.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Welcome to Thursday's show. We now have T-minus 6 days until Christmas. And
Jeez, you're kidding.
Yeah. Get out to Target.
Get those presents into the mail, folks. If you're going to get anything out, you better get it out now.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah.
So yesterday I showed off that Nintendo controller that inspired like the print job or the airbrushing job I want to do.
Yeah.
Let me show it up.
Yeah, let's see it. I'd like to see this. This is the show and tell portion of our show, and we like doing this a lot. So, children, sit down. There'll be cookies and juice later. All right.
So one more time, this is the Nintendo controller that I used as an example, and basically I was trying to figure out a way to make Marvel Snap frames that evoked the feeling of infinity rather than the actuality of the infinity frame, because the infinity frame is a super reflective black frame that just reflects all the things around it.
Right.
It really doesn't have any color itself.
Right.
But this is my airbrushed.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little bit of star spatter in there.
Yep.
That looks good, man.
Yeah, came out great. And
that looks good, and we're just seeing it on your webcam. I bet it looks even better in person.
It does. I need to take a photo of it and put it on. I got to take a photo of it and put it on the Etsy site, really, is what I need to do.
That's nice.
So
it's a good replication because, as we know, if you look at like the actual cards in that game, or really any of these kind of games, even the fancy Hearthstone cards, they do things with their effects that are physically not possible. Like you couldn't do it the way that they show it.
The snap cards are reflecting a thing that is not visible anywhere around the players. So
yeah,
it's so it came out really good. Yeah, I'll take a picture of it and put it up online, and then I'll put a copy on Etsy. But
sweet,
I'm really, really happy. And this is the first one I did where I separated out the number gems and the player name. So the frame is one piece, and then each of these things are another piece, and they just go on there. I have to widen things a little bit. I had to do some sanding to get them to fit, but you can see there's a teeny little bit of a gap there, more than I'd like.
I see.
The orange gem.
It's probably
when you're looking at this thing straight on, can't even tell.
Sure. And you can adjust that for future ones, right? So that you got more
I can
flush.
adjust it for future ones. Yeah, it's a little bit of Dremlin.
Yeah.
Little Dremlin will take care of that business.
According to Bill, a little Dremlin goes a long way. So
It really does. Dremel is a great little tool for resin, for fixing your resin prints. Probably, well, not so much your filament ones, because it just heats up the plastic and melts it. It doesn't sand it away as well.
I didn't think of that. That would make sense. You'd have to do probably more of a hand approach, like hand sanding and stuff. Yeah. Although I guess you could go fast enough.
If you do, if you're the Flash.
Yeah, if you're the Flash. Ooh, speaking of which, we all saw that Superman trailer this morning, or the teaser.
I watched it right before the show started, and
Brian, it gave me the feels. It gave me the feels.
Oh, it did. Wow. Okay. Nice.
I'm very excited. Look, I have a soft spot for a couple of things he showed in this teaser. And
I bet I know one of them. It's got to be Krypto.
Yeah,
right?
Krypto. To some people, I know this is going to be true. Some people, especially like the Snyder heads, they're going to see Krypto and go, "What the hell's a dog doing in here with a cape on?" Like they're going to really have a problem with that. Some people. You're wrong, people. You need to read the comics that Krypto comes from. You need to see some of the amazing storylines that involve him. I'm stoked about that.
It's great that we get both a Krypto and a Doge in the same trailer.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like Guy Gardner's hair. I'll just put that out there. There's maybe something to that. We'll find out. I don't know. But the use of that, the arrangement of that John Williams music. Oh, man.
Yes. The hearkening back to the...
It's a little bit of a cheat to get me feeling a certain way. I understand that. I acknowledge that, but I am here for it. And they made me feel good. And there's color. This thing's full of color.
Yes, exactly. It's not muted and dour. That's the thing I'm excited about. I'm hoping, it's James Gunn, so undoubtedly there'll be more humor in it than it's evident in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't think he's going to go overboard, and that's right, and that's good. That's the right thing. It's Superman. There's a little bit of reverence. You can go a little sillier with Batman's Rogues Gallery. You can go silly with some of the other characters, obviously Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad and things like that. But Superman has got to be, if there's a funny scale, Superman needs to be kind of like on the 4 or 5 out of 10 as opposed to the Suicide Squad 9 out of 10.
I agree, and they need to do it where it belongs with Lois and Jimmy.
Right.
And,
right. Yes.
What's the guy who owns Perry White, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
I do like Nick Holt as Lex.
Oh yeah, dude, he looks great. He just needs to look at the camera and say, "Witness me," and slowly die in a car crash.
Reset the counters, folks.
Yep, get that. I haven't put that up in a while. Where the hell is it? There it is. Reset the clock.
Nice.
Anyway, I'm suitable. I was already excited, but I'm in Gunn. I trust he hasn't let me down before, so we'll just see. But they could drop the legends from the name, though. I don't know if you noticed that. They got rid of the.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, it just says Superman now. So.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, hey, that's fine.
I think I read some interview. He said it was just starting to feel like we were going to do a bunch of prequels or prequel sounding storyline stuff, and we're not.
Yeah. No, and I don't see any. Thank goodness. I don't see any. Oh no, Krypton's exploding. We better send our baby away. Okay, let's get him there. Hey, I'm on Pa Kettle or Kent. That'd be a whole different movie, wouldn't it? Mom, Pa Kettle.
Yeah, then it'd be Clark Kettle. Clark Kettle goes to the big city and becomes a fancy reporter. Yeah, I have really high hopes, and I think that everything just looked great, and that music killed me, dude. Freaking so good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
are we going to get the origin where Superman's parents die in an alley behind the...
Martha, how did you know that name? I hope we never hear that again.
Oh no, my pearls!
Yeah, I hope we never see that again.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Or you know what? If you're gonna do it in flashbacky stuff that's short. I just don't need a full retelling of the origin story of Batman ever again. I know how Superman got here. We're good, unless you're gonna tell a totally new story where this is an alternate universe where Superman crashed into a big major city and was taken in by homeless people or something. If you're gonna change it all up like that, fine. But that's not what this is. This is the standard. You landed in the farm stuff. fine old folks from Smallville, raised you as their own. Like, we know. And you can have them go back to Smallville and hang out with Pa Kent and, give him advice. It looks like there's a moment there in the trailer where he's talking to a guy who looks older. I assume that's what's his name, Kent? I don't know.
Oh, Pa Kent. Looks like it.
I think
First
so.
Pa Kent looks like he's close to death.
Yeah, he looked a little rough. Anyway, I'm excited. Bring it on. Let's do it. When is that? That's next summer? Or
July 11th. 7-Eleven, folks. Go get a Slurpee, get your free Slurpee, and go see Superman on the same day.
we'll do a big local SLC tadpole thing.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
we'll get all locals together. You got to help me plan that, Kevin, if you're out there listening. Anyway, Brian, hey, we got a reminder real quick, because these are just going to happen. I'm going to bring these reminders in. It's just a way to get you guys stoked about this and moving your butts. You have until January 31st, like a month and a half or a little less, to submit your 30-second film festival entry over at frogpants.com/filmfest. And the reason you're doing this is because you're going to get a bunch of prizes, and we also want to see your awesome creativity. The theme this year is show us the origin story of a TMS meme. And sorry, I'm pulling up the site. Here we go.
Is it June 11th? Okay, June 11th. Sorry if I made a mistake on the Superman thing.
Oh, yeah.
Whew. A whole bunch of people would have missed it by a month if they listened to me.
Yeah, I don't know how we would have. We've averted disaster clearly.
That's right.
By finding that out. Anyway, go read all about the rules. The rules are not hardcore. They're just there, so they're easy to read. Yeah. And there's a film entry form right there. It's super simple, not hard to do. Once you've finished your thing, just send us a unlisted YouTube link of your creation, and you are entered to win. Soon we'll have news on prizes. I want to make it awesome, so we're working on like a combination of digital, physical stuff, all kind of across the board. Anyway, that is at frogpants.com/filmfest. Get your entries in today. Well, not today, but soon. How about soon?
Yeah, soon. Start thinking about them today, though. Start figuring out what meme you like. And there's a TMS wiki. If you search, I don't know is it wiki.frogpants or something? I found it for somebody the other day who was asking about it. And frogpants.fandom.com.
There it is. Frogpants wiki. Is there a
yeah, and there's
tadpole? Is that the one?
There is a
there's a few things.
All about memes. Let's see here. Hold on.
There's a thing with memes that says, much like the Frog Pants podcast, the Tadpole has developed its own memes, inside jokes, and culture. Here are some examples.
There we go.
Customary to greet everyone entering the Tadpole roleplay as 1 hugs, 2 sharing bacon, 3 throwing bricks of love.
Oh, wow. That goes back.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I guess bacon gets shared still by Zoe, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's also customary to get the hosts and to talk about and that's not it. During Daryl, okay, they talk about Daryl. Well, they don't have very many here, though.
Let's see. Here's a better... wow, this one doesn't have many at all.
We should make a list and just give them the list.
Yeah. Stephanie, can you help us with that? Because you were doing the whole listen through, and there was somebody else who was like cataloging, here's the first time Brian did this, or here's the first time Scott did this.
Yeah,
or something like that.
and we don't even need... All we need really is the name of the thing so much. Don't really need dates or anything.
Says, takes a lot of time. I say, many hands make light work.
There you go.
Yeah,
takes a village, Jeannie.
That's why I'm your middle manager for.
That's right. Right.
Scott's the CEO. I'm middle management, and
yeah. And our shareholders meeting is a rough one this year. So Jeannie, get in line.
Right.
All right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Just kidding.
I want to hear those reports on how our fourth quarter earnings.
Sure. Yeah, we need to find out do we need to put a pin in it and swing back around next quarter?
Because hopefully the synergy for that.
Yeah, we need as much synergy as possible. Brian, also we need to find out if this was the dessert you meant.
Yes, for the morning stream. G'day, you two indictments of the American education system. I think the dessert that Brian is thinking of is beaten mess, which is named after the Snooky College in Britain. So it's beaten mess. Thanks, guys.
Is that...
I couldn't tell if he was... If that was a real accent or if he was taking the piss, basically.
Well, he is. We've heard from him before. He is in Brisbane. He's in Australia. But
he is. Okay. All right.
But I'm not sure what he called it, and that's where I'm struggling.
Eaten mess, which is absolutely 100% the dessert that I was trying to think of.
Okay.
I was confusing Brighton and I was probably confusing. Oh no, Breton. Breton was the city, and I was trying to think of like it was like Breton something, but really it's just Eaton mess.
Eaten mess. Right?
Eaten mess. And if you look at this thing, it is accurately named ETONMESS. It is like just it's like you took a parfait and just dumped it on a plate.
Oh, look at this, dude. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but I'd eat it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Eaton may be a snooty college, but that's where the members of the Jam went, I think.
Oh.
Maybe not.
The Jam? Do I know the Jam? I don't think I know the Jam.
You know the Jam.
Do I?
The bitterest pill I had to swallow is the Jam.
Oh. How about no connection to
nothing jagged.
No, nothing jagged. Not that. Who am I thinking of? The only Australian bands I know for sure are INXS.
Their Jam is English.
They're English.
Eton is an English, British college.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
English college, I think it's in England.
Right. So the prison colony got a hold of their dessert. Really, is what this guy.
Yes.
That looks fantastic. I'm looking at a big bunch of it there.
I know. Doesn't that look great?
Yeah.
I mean, it really just looks like fruit and whipped cream. But I know there's way more in there than that because they made it once, I think, on the on one of the Christmas bake-offs or New Year's bake-offs.
That makes sense. Did Paul Hollywood leer at a young contestant while?
He doesn't do that.
A little bit.
I don't think he gets creepy with them. He just gets he's just that level of creepy with everybody, but not sexually creepy.
Well, didn't he end up? What was the deal? He had an affair with one of the presenters.
Was there a scandal thing?
There was something.
Man, really?
He had his wife left him because he was getting it on with somebody on the show. I don't remember if it was a contestant or like a presenter or something. It wasn't Prue or any of those people. It was
I was gonna say, I don't think the first two women, Gulliman and Susan. Oh shoot, what's her name? I don't think either of them would have accepted his advances.
I would think. I would think not, based on other things I've heard. But yes, I know where you're going with that.
Let's see. Oh yeah, sure enough, there it is. Marcella Villadolid. During his stint on the American Baking Competition 2013, he fell into a sticky scandal. Embroiled in an affair with co-host Marcella Valladolid.
So apparently
it led to a temporary split from his wife Alexandra.
Yeah, now they're back together and fine now. But I mean, you're like, hey, I'm the baking lord. Look at me. No one's cooler than me, and I don't know.
Exactly. That's the typical Paul Hollywood leer and stare and glare is the not quite the what the hell am I doing on this show, but like the what the hell are you doing on this show?
Yeah.
You soggy bottom mess.
I also think somebody whose name is Paul Hollywood, just expect some rough seas. All right, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
Well, there you go. Speaking of desserts, all right.
Yes.
Let us do this.
Almost washed your food down.
Look at this. Mike Pacholik, great patron of the arts.
Exactly.
He sent us a Coca-Cola flavored Oreo pack. And Brian and I were remarking earlier how they made a little bottle shape out of it, which I think is kind of great. You get some forced perspective there, but I like it. So I've never tried this, and apparently this is a thing that people do on the regular, where you drink Coke and eat Oreos, like separately, apart from this flavor.
Yeah, but they apparently like the combination of the chocolate and.
Which sounds wrong to me. I'll be honest, Brian. It sounds disgusting.
The smell when you open that container is like sticking your nose deep into a bottle of Coke.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow. Almost, but you know what it is? It's the gummy Coke bottles. Is the smell.
Yeah, those bottles. I used to love the Dr. Pepper ones when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. So, another thing of note here, you got a red top cookie, got a bottom brown cookie, and it's more brown than, it's just, I don't know, is it a different brown?
Oh, really? The brown looks the same.
Yeah, maybe it's the same.
Yeah. I think it's the same.
But the idea here is that you still get the chocolate. I assume that this is the Coke flavor, and I don't know what they did with the middle, although you said there are Pop Rocks in this.
There are Pop Rocks in here to give you the carbonated. It's carbonated stuff.
I'm scared.
Not double stuff, but carbonated stuff.
This just seems like this is a cookie to give people diabetes, but let's give it a shot.
Well, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, sure enough, it's got the Pop Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Like
that isn't bad.
No, I think it's fine.
Oh, weird. The Pop Rocks act as like carbonation, basically.
Yeah, but they're not as, it's not as many Pop Rocks as I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking it was going to be like, you know, downing a whole
Yeah. This isn't too
pouch
bad.
of those.
This isn't too bad. You know what? I would call this a decent Christmas time flavor.
It is. And you know,
I'm not eating anymore, but
it kind of is. It's subtle. It's more subtle than I was expecting. The chocolate is still very prominent. So
yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought I was going to hate that. I expected to. Let's see what the sugar content is.
I think I like it better than the Coke that tastes like Oreos. I think I like the Oreos that taste like Coke better.
Oh yeah, I've never.
Chuck
You were the
says
only one that's tried that, right? You've tried the
Chuck
Coke.
says to just try the red cookie because it's the Coke flavor.
That's
stuff.
the Coke end. Okay. So, but you've tried the drink, right? I have not done that. I don't know.
Oh wow, very subtle, not super sweet at all, which I really like.
The cream's definitely got more of the Coke flavor.
Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah. I'm trying it by itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just ate all the cream.
These are vegan, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Oreos are vegan. Famously, according to Oreo themselves, they are famous for being a vegan alternative.
Okay.
12 grams added sugars, 24% overall of your daily valued sugar intake. That's a lot of sugar. So I would recommend going easy on those.
How many cookies is that?
Good question. That might be total.
Oh no, they're not going to say serving size is one whole container.
Serving size is two cookies. Serving size.
Okay.
Per serving, 12 grams of sugar total, and that's 12. That's funny. Total sugars 12 grams, included 12 grams added sugars. So the sugars in total are the added ones.
Yeah.
There's no like natural sugars, and then they're like, yep,
There's
and then we added
there's
some.
nothing natural about the Oreo. Come on now.
I mean, that's pretty sugary. It's not the worst thing you can put in your mouth sugar-wise, but it's it's up there.
Yeah.
Regular Oreos aren't too bad, and especially the thins. They're not like loaded. I can probably eat 3 or 4 of those.
4 is the serving size they recommend on the Oreo thins.
Yeah. This one's 2. Did we say? Yeah, 2.
2.
That makes sense. Double it. And then the double stuff's, what is it, 1?
I think 0 is a recommended serving size of double stuff Oreos.
Oh, man. I remember being a little kid when those came out, like 77 or something like that. And I remember being like, this is the greatest day in mankind's history.
I said, today is going to save me so much time, and I don't have to manually pull the cookies apart and make my own double stuffed cookies.
Yeah. I freaking loved it. Can't do them now, though. Anyway.
Oh my God, there's a mega stuff, Bobby? There's like bigger than double stuff?
Is there really? Like,
I got to see this.
Who's
Oreo
that
mega
for?
stuff.
Who are those for? Let's see.
There just ain't enough stuff in
Oh
the
my
double stuff.
gosh.
Look at that.
That's like an ice cream sandwich is what that is.
Oh no. Yeah, it really is.
Here you go, chat. Look at that.
Oh, and then there's most stuff. So there's even one above mega.
Of course there is.
Oh, that is the most. That's the most stuff.
Oh, there's the words in the background. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
You ever do the
mega and most?
Do you ever do the cereal? The post Oreo or
No. Here's a great photo that shows you. It's almost like your T-Mobile bars or something.
Let's see.
But in our Discord is the thins, the regulars, the double stuff, the mega stuff, and then the most stuff.
Oh my gosh, dude! Look at these, you guys.
How many bars are you getting?
Yeah, those are from mega stuff forward. That's just bad. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, I think even double stuff is too much. Yeah.
Go back to my childhood. I'm in heaven. Now, this is a bad idea.
Now I'm looking for one that's got the amount of stuff from the one thin and one regular Oreos. They're 1.5 stuff.
You want to read up or go down a rabbit hole about corporate infighting or corporate fighting you've never seen in your life, and that is the fight between Nabisco Oreo and the what was it? They sound like medication. The other cookie that they competed with.
Hydrox.
Hydrox. The Hydrox versus Oreo stuff. Crazy the back and forth on that. Oh my gosh. Price wars, flavor wars. At one point, one of them took the lard out and then started selling a bunch more. And then I think it was Oreo reacted and said, fine, we're taking the lard out. It was just like, brah, brah, brah. It was like the most competitive cookie thing in the history of cookies. Crazy.
And then they tried to get their employees to go, Hail Hydrox!
Yeah.
That didn't work. That didn't work very well.
No, it turns out people, at least back then, frowned on the Nazis more than we do today.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
Hey, everybody. Guess what else we got here today?
Time for a Oreo to have a... When the Captain America movie comes out, they need to do... Oreos that have the Shield logo on one side and the Hydra logo on the other side in the cookie.
Ooh, I like that. Plus, that feels like a little stab at Hydrox again, doesn't it?
It does, exactly.
Yeah. Keep those guys on their toes.
Exactly. Like, wait a minute, what are they doing?
Hydrox, when I was growing up, were terrible. I hated them compared to Oreos. And then now, though, they're actually not bad. The Hydroxes are okay.
I don't know when I've had a Hydrox. If I had one as a kid, if I've even ever had one. I may not.
Can't remember who owns them now. It might be like Kroger, Bottom Up, or somebody like that owns them now. But anyway,
Tezzeret Dynamite says Hydrox is the worst name for a cookie. I disagree. Look up digestives.
Yeah, you British and your digestives. Oh my gosh.
That is the worst name for a cookie. That does not feel like something you eat voluntarily. It feels like something your doctor prescribes for you.
Is that called that because they got like fiber in it or something and they're good for digestion?
Know. Yeah.
I don't know. The British will have to explain yourselves. We don't understand how you people work over there.
How did that? Maybe one of our UK listeners could write in and say, here's why they call them digestives.
Yeah. We didn't leave because we wanted our independence. We left because of you guys calling a cookie a digestive.
Exactly. It's like,
forget about tea prices.
We want to start our own country. We could call a cookie a cookie.
Yeah. We get all hung up on the tea and the harbor and all that.
Right.
It was your shitty cookies. All right. Final note before we get moving here. Tomorrow, TMS Friday for patrons. You guys are going to want to be there because apparently Brian's prepared a little something cool. What are you doing to me tomorrow?
I have. I'm going to give you a Christmas movie trivia quiz.
Sweet.
So, what's the Home Alone kid's middle name? Or how many floors did Hans fall down when... when Bruce Willis pushed him out of Nakatomi Plaza.
I like it.
Neither of those questions will be in the quiz, by the way, so oh well.
I had, for the first time ever, Kim watch Bad Santa with me last night. And
oh, nice. Did she like it?
She loved it.
Good.
I wasn't sure how's it going to go, just because that movie's very crass, very dark, very, it's comedy, but it's dark comedy. But it has some heart, and that's where it wins you over. So I think she liked it on all those levels. But it is pretty weird to see a very sexually expressive Lorelai Gilmore.
Oh, right, because it's Lauren Graham.
Yeah, it throws you a little bit at first. You're just like, oh, right, okay, hello. Hello there.
she was on my laminated list for a while.
Oh yeah,
back in the. I think it was a character that she played on Caroline in the City, I think.
She made the rounds early on, Seinfeld, a couple others.
She was all over all those sitcoms. And
she was the one on Seinfeld where her and her mother-in-law were trying to make Jerry the highest quick dial on her phone.
Oh, right. Moving up the list, like the rankings. Yes.
Do you remember how, I watch that now and I just go, quick dial. What are you guys like? What an ancient era. Like, what are we even doing? So crazy. Anyway, she's really good on that too. But I like her a lot, and I think she brings a lot to Bad Santa. But it is shocking to see her in the situations where you're just like, oh, hello, Lauren Graham. This isn't quite what I'm used to from you. Anyway, that's tomorrow. Be here if you're a patron. If you're not a patron yet, you could literally sign up today and then be here for TMS Friday tomorrow.
Yeah,
Like that's
it could be that quick. Sign up today. Listen to TMS Friday on Friday.
yeah.
How crazy!
It's the only way you can get it. So please get in there and get that taken care of. Brian, let's dive into some news coverage here on our very news-focused product we make here.
I don't watch the news.
Me neither, kid. It's the news, and it's brought to you by.
Brought to you by Coverville, where I am I've got my entire team of people working on sussing out the best covers of 2024. The 40 best, to be specific. Right now, we've got it pared down to 64 songs that are getting rated as we speak. I'm looking at the team right now, and there's paper. They're all over the place. They've all got those visors, not full-on hats, but just visors.
Sure.
And they're, there's calculators all over the place. There's that guy's playing Galaga. But anyway, they're all working, scrambling to get this done. Won't be done today, though. So look for part 1 and part 2 to be released next week. Part 1 early in the week, probably Monday. Part 2 probably on Thursday.
Nice. That's great. Little Christmas week drops like that. I like that.
Exactly. Like a little Christmas bonus for you. 2-part Christmas bonus.
I like it. I'm in. You know who would like that? Paul Hollywood would like
Paul
that.
Hollywood would like that. Yes.
Sorry,
He's not giving somebody a soggy bottom.
That's right.
What?
But hello, too crispy.
Hello.
Hey, here's a story for you if you like flying. An airplane got grounded for 4 days because 132 hamsters escaped on board. Get these mother effing hamsters off my mother effing plane.
Cue the Samuel Jackson line. Yeah. Great hamster flight.
It's a lot
What, they
of
think it was a Kia Soul?
No, but I'll tell you.
There's people of a certain age who will have no idea what that joke, what it means, why Kia Soul and hamsters are referenced together.
You all missed out on a very important cultural pinpoint of our lives.
That's right, exactly.
And that's your fault, so go look it up. Anyways, grounded for 4 days at a Portuguese airport when 132 hamsters escaped from boxes in the cargo hold. The TAP Air Portugal flight from Lisbon to Ponta Delgada, I believe, airport. Ponta Delgada.
Ponta Delgada.
Featured a full contingent of passengers as well as hamsters, ferrets, and birds en route to a big pet store deal. That's how they get these around, I guess. Flight ended up grounded in Ponta Delgada when 132 hamsters were found to escape from the cargo hold. Officials said the plane was kept at the airport for safety reasons as the hamsters could pose a risk to the plane's electrical wires. They chew through shit, and they do. I had hamsters. They bite through everything. So
yeah, gnaw through. Yeah, it's those teeth. They got to keep working those teeth.
Yeah, that's a movie I'd watch though. Our plane went down. Yeah. What from? They chewed through the wiring.
Hamsters on a plane.
Yeah,
right.
And then just eat the hamsters instead of each other or something.
Let's release the snakes. Those will get rid of the hamsters.
Oh no! Now we've got a snake problem. Birds. We need hawks. Oh no! We have too many hawks. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what humans do. We screw up the ecosystem.
Right.
Anyway, workers spent days scouring the plane for loose rodents, and the Airbus A320 or 320 or A320, I guess, is how you'd say it. Not an A320. Anyway, finally returned to Lisbon on Sunday. So everything's fine, all accounted for. I assume that the hamsters are alive and off to their destination. I don't know. I hope none of them perished because it's not their fault that humans are weird.
Put them in, just put them in 132 little roller balls, like those little plastic balls, and have them go around the plane. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Crashing into each other, and they can't chew the wires.
It's like
exercise.
It's like that scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and the train breaks down, and they all have to walk to the rest of the way. Put them all in little balls and say, "Sorry, it's just You're on your way to Wichita or wherever the hell you're going."
You gotta visualize though the plane touching down and hitting the brakes and all of those balls going.
Oh
to the front
man!
Of the plane.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
All right, now there's a Pixar movie in this. We could get this.
That sounds fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd sign up for that. Here's a story about New York men.
Okay.
New York men. Ian, we're looking at you, buddy. If you're out there, I am sci-fi. New York men die from pneumonia after using bat poop to grow marijuana.
Yep, all of these things. Like, it is such boy, talk about your A to B to C headline. It makes perfect sense. I don't even need to know the story behind it.
No, we actually, for once, this headline didn't bait us. It just told us everything.
Exactly. Well, of course you would die from pneumonia after you use bat poop to grow marijuana.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
it seems like you're going to smoke that, and it's from you had it in poo. Like, of course you're in trouble.
Yeah.
2 men from upstate New York have died from a type of pneumonia after using bat poop to grow cannabis. These men, who were based in Rochester. Let's get the latest batch, old chum. They developed fatal cases of histoplasmosis.
Yikes.
Dr. Calhoun, or Dr. Calhoun. What am I saying? Who's our doctor?
Tolbert?
Tolbert. What's wrong with me? I just talked to him last night. He got
just look at our code names and you'll see his name.
Oh, right. That Codenames game I started and never finished.
You didn't even start it. The first clue is to you, and you haven't even selected words yet or selected cards yet.
No, I thought I started it. It said, all right, it's off to so-and-so to make their thing, and then I didn't know I was first.
Yeah, you're first. Well, they picked, they gave you a word, and you just have to figure out the cards that go with that word.
I may have left it in a very stupid state, is what I've done.
That's all right. That's right. Batman, get the anti-histoplasmosis spray.
I like it. Holy histoplasmosis.
Holy pneumonia.
I can't believe how many girls we're getting in the 60s by being Batman and Robin.
This marijuana is a very rich batch.
The Joker.
This stanky weed is really
Dank Weed. Do they still call it Dank Weed?
Dank. Yeah.
Is that a thing still? I wonder with the
I'm
kids.
sure they do still. Yeah.
Well, anyway, they were not named.
Not even 420 yet.
These were not named humans. These were not. They haven't said who they are yet, but they have been using the droppings to fertilize cannabis plants. It is not immediately clear why they died or when they died. Why is not a question. When is the question. Exposure to bat guano among cannabis growers appears to be a recent trend that can lead to histoplasmosis cases and outbreaks, says University of Rochester researchers in a recent report. Bat poop is also known as guano.
Yes, I just bang yes, Mariguano.
Yep, Mariguano. Oh, a good, just a big pull on a Mariguano cigarette.
A little Mariguano.
Yeah, I got a little secondhand from a neighbor yesterday. It's not legal here, obviously, but I knew what I was smelling, and I could see him over the fence and see him all sitting out there laughing around a fire pit. Yeah.
And were they going?
No, it was more like I don't even know how to describe this laughter. It wasn't typical. It wasn't stereotypical stoner laughter. It was more like,
Okay. Oh, so was it Seth Rogen laughter? Like,
a little bit. Now that you say it, it was a little bit like that. Yeah, and they had Rogan weed over there.
Rogan weed.
But they're sitting there, and it's notable because I can smell it. It's got that sickly sweet smell you get from it. The minute you land in LA or Vegas, you smell it. But so I can smell that, and then they're around a fire, so it's mixing with this like fire smell, like campfire smell, and then I hear they have a bug zapper going every few minutes, and I don't know what bugs you're getting in the middle of December.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it was buzzing, so I don't know. Huh. Maybe they were getting some secondhand.
Those bugs that haven't quite figured out that it's not winter right now because it's too warm. Still beautiful out there. I'm looking at the Coverville outdoor weather cam and the Coverville AccuWeather cam, and it's just beautiful out right now. Green. It feels like spring, which is it's going to screw our trees up. Is what it's going to do.
It will, because the trees don't know.
Early.
Yeah, the trees are going to be like, wait, what the F are you doing? Mm-hmm. This is what people don't think about, see, with the climate change and the whatnot.
That's right.
Well, anyway, dumb people don't use bat guano in your weed growing.
No.
All right.
I was going to catch the Riddler, but then I got high.
But then I got high. I love that song.
But then I got high. But then I got high. But then you got high?
Was that your Robin?
That was my Robin.
Oh, wow.
But then you got high. Yeah, you got a little Casey Kasem in there.
Burt Ward. It's the best Burt Ward I've ever heard.
Oh, that's true. I was doing more the Burt Ward squeaky voice than the Casey Kasem.
Oh, right. Hey, Batman, the top 40 are coming.
Here's one coming all the way from Schenectady, New York.
It's so funny how he is in that.
Our dog Snuffles.
He's also
a great companion. And
he's also Shaggy. He's also
he's one of the Speed Racer kids, or not Speed Racer, but Speed Buggy.
Speed Buggy, I think. Did a lot of Warner Brothers stuff. I think we forget just how prolific he was in the voice acting world, even though it was the same voice in all of them, basically.
It's the same voice, and somebody said, I guess it kind of sounds like a kid. Okay, let's give him Shaggy and Robin, and
I feel like we have a good modern day version of what he is, and some people say it's the guy who now hosts
Seacrest.
Yeah, people say, well, Seacrest is the closest thing you have to him. I would actually argue Seacrest is closer to Dick Clark. That's the comparison I would make, is Dick Clark.
Yeah, but I would say, Dick Clark and Casey Kasem, really two branches of the same tree. They both got their start in radio, both hosts for big franchises.
I think the difference is Dick Clark very handsome and photogenic.
You don't think Seacrest is handsome?
No, he is too. He is too. That's what I'm saying. That's why those two are the same. I'm saying that.
Oh, and Casey
Kasem's kind of weird looking. He looks like
looks
like a Muppet or something.
Well, if you take looks out of it, then I think they're all cut from the same branch,
same era too. Really,
same era. Yeah.
Well, except Seacrest, I guess he's a new version of it.
Except for Seacrest, but I wonder if there was any hatred between Dick Clark and Casey Kasem. Like if there was.
That'd be great.
Like a competitive.
Like a fight in a men's room somewhere in a hotel.
Right, exactly. But it was it was the most well pronounced and articulate fight ever. It wouldn't be a fight of fists. It would be well, coming up, I'm gonna give you a cross left into the side of your jaw. Down a couple notches, my fist into your face.
Bandstand.
That's right. Dr. Calhoun, Dick did TV as well. Dick Clark did. He also
lots
did
of TV.
A countdown. Yeah,
America's Bandstand. It was on TV. Well, so it was also radio, but American Bandstand became a television thing.
Yep.
He also did Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve every year. He did Dick Clark's, or what was the home? Bloopers, F ups, and screw ups.
Oh, right, with McMahon. Foul ups, bleeps, and blunders.
Yeah,
or
bloopers, bleeps, and blunders. I think it was right, and it was all like just bloopers and outtakes from TV shows and stuff. And for a while there, he had Don Rickles on there.
Sure.
And I remember as a kid, I was
on which show?
It was the bloopers.
No, it was Ed McMahon, not Don Rickles.
But Rickles, I think, showed up later. I think he joined later.
Did he really? Rickles did that?
There was something like that. Something like that. I know. And it made me not like Rickles then. And I remember,
that would make me not like, just hearing about that makes me not like Rickles. Oh, man.
Let's see. Rickles and Dick Clark.
I never remember that. I stopped watching that show. Just like I stopped watching America's Funniest Home Videos. Poor Bob Saget, man. To have that be.
That was a bummer.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. So I guess he showed up on all of Dick Clark's shit. But I remember in particular, because we recorded that show. I don't know why we were so into it here. It's just so pre-internet, right? Now you get all the bloopers.
It is so wholesome. It is. It's like wholesome family entertainment. Like,
the jokes were so bad, though.
It just fell down the sled, and
the jokes they would make in between. It was as bad as Saget stuff too. It's just like,
that's right, because it was like here's Linda Evans messing up one of her lines on Dynasty, and then cracking up about it.
Yeah, and it just, I don't know, and the way they would just like try to fill time when there wasn't an actual blooper.
That's right.
Oh, here it is.
Pranks. It was pranks and stuff.
Did I find a Dick Van Dyke? No, that's Dick Van Dyke. Let's see here. I was trying to find a scene.
There's got to be like somebody's got to have an archive of foul ups, bleeps, and blunders on.
He's tried to revive this in 2000 with something called Dick Clark's All New Bloopers. I don't think that went well.
No,
I don't think that lasted very long. But I remember going, this Don Rickles guy, ugh. But now he's I look back now, and he's one of my favorite comedians. Like, I freaking love Don Rickles. But
so I'm looking at foul ups, bleeps, and blunders. It must have been something else. The Clark and Ed McMahon one must have been called something else, because I'm looking at foul ups, bleeps, and blunders, and it's Rickles and Steve Lawrence.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it too. I've probably mixed these up. Let's see. Foul ups, bleeps, and blunders. That is the one.
I'm going to give you a link to a YouTube video. This is fun for the. TV's bloopers and practical jokes. Thank you, Red Frag. That's what the Dick Clark and Ed McMahon thing.
Bloopers and practical jokes. You're right. Yeah. I have mixed those.
Yeah, I've conflated the two.
Did he ever come on there? Why have I done that? Because to me, Dick Clark and Steve Lawrence are nothing like each other. I don't know how I've done that.
No, but there's, again, they're all from that same time period, right? These guys are all like, appear on the roasts, appear on Love Boat, appear on somebody's Donnie and Marie's variety show, all that stuff.
Kind of missed that era. I wasn't even like, you and I weren't even like, it wasn't even for us.
No, it really wasn't.
But we were there as kids and we could see it happening on, Celebrity Crossword or whatever the hell we were watching.
Yeah.
And all these same people just parading in and out of each other's shit. I don't know what it's like today. What's the version of this? YouTube collaborations? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it must be, yeah.
Bubba Smith was on there. Yeah. Don Adams.
But I'm going to have to watch an episode of... Let me see how far I can get into an episode of TV's bloopers and practical jokes. Found a whole episode online, and
you should try it.
I'm just going to see how much of it I can watch.
Try it.
It's like, here's somebody just messing up a line on the show. Amen.
All right, I'll say this. I'm going to say this. I'll bet. Here's my bet. You'll get one joke in and feel like leaving. I think that you'll stick it out longer, but you'll feel like leaving a joke in.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it'll be so bad, it will land so poorly, and the canned laughter that they add will be so fake that you're going to go, oh, could I really? But you'll stick it out for a little longer.
I'm sure I will. Yeah. Okay.
Because we're doing it for science, right?
We're doing it for science, and you see that they're bringing Hollywood Squares back because everybody's clamoring for Hollywood Squares.
I did not know that. Who's in charge?
Drew Barrymore, I think, is the producer and probably center square.
Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah,
let's see here.
All-star lineup. Okay, let's see. CBS will kick 2025 off in a huge way on January 9th. Premiere of its reboot of Hollywood Squares. Let's see.
Host is Nate Burleson, I think.
Oh, Drew Barrymore, center square.
No. Nate Burleson,
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, here it is.
If you're a producer, you get to pick and say, I want to be center square.
Now, here's your great... They've done this a bit, so they are doing this, but this is perfect. Yeah. Have it be mostly comedians. That's the way to do this.
Yes, for sure.
So you got Jeff Ross, Tyra Banks. She's not, but she's kind of funny. Whitney Cummings, comedian. Triumph, the insult comic dog up in the upper square. So the puppet.
Tiffany Haddish, Thomas Lennon, Chelsea Peretti, Debbie Mazar, Bobby Moynihan.
You know what? I'm sort of in.
Yeah,
I've watched this.
Here's the cringy thing about Hollywood Squares is knowing that they've got the questions already. Of course, questions are already given to the celebrities and the two answers: the funny answer and then the real answer that they're supposed to give.
Right.
And it's just so damn cringy of like, all right, well, this is something that all people keep in their side table. Well, I think it's a vibrating dildo. My Paul Lynde. But it was so scripted and cringy. It's like none of these comedians are actually coming up with their jokey answers on the spot.
Or when they did, and sometimes something would sneak through kind of improv-y, and you could tell.
Yes,
you could feel it.
You could tell. Because everybody would crack up because they see that that's not on the sheet. Because they all have to have the same sheet because they don't know which square is going to get chosen. So they all have to have the pairs of answers. And Dr. Calhoun says Match Game is better than Hollywood Squares on Friend Me. No, you are dead right. Match Game, I feel like, is way more unscripted than Hollywood Squares.
It's also more competition. Like this other thing is just an excuse to say, well, if it's at upper square, we're going to hear the insult dog say something funny now, and it's not really about the competition.
Circle gets the square.
Yeah.
Your pick. I'm going to go with...
Match Game was way better. I agree.
That guy who writes jokes for the Oscars.
Does it seem like there's a bit of an uptick here with the... I know this happens every once in a while. It's like a pattern, but right now there's what's his name? Jimmy Kimmel is hosting some new...
Oh yeah, and then
you
got we started watching, or I started watching, like while I'm cooking or something, I'll have it on the background so I can hear the trivia questions. But it's LeVar Burton hosting the Trivial Pursuit game show.
Oh
And
yeah. How is that?
every thing out of LeVar Burton's mouth is like he's on stage for his one-man Hamlet. It's like, we're going to give you a question from the science and nature category.
Oh my Lord.
If you get it right, 100 points will be added to your score.
I love him, but I don't think I love that.
You've got to watch
approach.
a little bit of it. It's on the CW. You think you could watch it for free on the CW app?
Okay,
But,
I'll check it out.
Just give it 2 minutes, and you know what? It might be some great audio for the show as I say this, but it's.
Have you seen that Colin Yost celebrity?
Yes.
Jeopardy, or not
Yeah,
celebrity
well,
Jeopardy, but whatever it is.
We auditioned for it and we didn't get picked.
Oh,
Sucked.
did you now?
Yeah, me and Lori, who's been on Jeopardy, and Mark Whalen, we did the test. We all scored high on the test. We did not get the callback. And Lori and I haven't talked to Mark Whalen about it, but we've been watching it, and we're all like, we would have so freaking killed it on this thing, man, because it's like we are really 3 generations, and it would have been really, really good to.
That's why they didn't pick you, though. They want some dummies on there.
Maybe. They want some dummies. Yeah.
Can't have everybody, because
They want somebody to go, Dua Lipa?
Dua Lipa. But the way I look at it is it's not celebrity, it's pop culture trivia, and that probably leans into not being easier, but you're going to find people who are just nuts about that, so they probably have to be a little careful about who they choose.
I mean, basically, pop culture trivia is what pub quizzes are. Very little on the academics, very little on the sports, very little on anything else, and that really fits with the vibe of a trivia team sending 3 of its members to play Jeopardy, as opposed to the.
Well, that would have been great. They should have done it.
Yeah, they should have let us in. Maybe they still will. Maybe maybe we'll get reached out to at some point saying, all right, well, we didn't want you for the first season. We'd like you for the second.
Yeah, get yanked by Yost.
What? That's right. That's what we're talking about, Jeannie. It is the pop culture Jeopardy with on Amazon Prime with Colin Jost is the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
I do like how he ends each show by saying, "We'll see you next time on Pop Culture Jeopardy," which is probably right now because you're probably just sitting there binging these.
He's great. I like him a lot.
He is great. Yeah.
Yeah. Those two, him and Che, are awesome.
Boy, Scarlett Johansson did really well for herself.
Yeah. Yeah. She seemed to. She
really seemed to do well for herself with that Colin Jost.
Yeah, did all right. I think it may have gone the other way. Well, whatever. I wonder if you think him and her ex get along, Ryan Reynolds? You think they can talk and hang out and stuff?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Maybe.
I forgot that she was with him, but man,
I think they're married for a minute. For a hot
were they
minute.
really?
I think so. I could be wrong on that.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
I feel like that's coming in after your husband is a Nobel Prize winner and being like the follow-up husband. It's like, well, Ryan Reynolds always used to wash the dishes after dinner.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right. Okay. I'm washing the dishes.
I'm doing
Whatever.
the dishes.
Okay.
I've got SNL in 3 hours. Can I hurry? Get me out of here.
Exactly. Yes.
Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson married from 2008 to 2011.
Oh, 3 years. Wow.
No kids, just them doing it like rabbits. So there you go.
Don't tell Colin Jost.
No, he doesn't need to know any of that. All right, we'll just say Jost Kidding when we talk to him.
Jost Kidding.
Oh my gosh. All right, Wendy's coming up right after this break. We got to play a song though to get to her. So what do you got?
Yeah, we're going to bridge the gap between News and Wendy with Punk Heroes Bridge the Gap. They're coming back this spring with a brand new LP called Gainsayer. This is some rockin' stuff, folks. If you're familiar with this band, you'll really, really like this. This is produced by Bill Stevenson, and they've got a music video for this as well. The new song is called In the Throes. Here is Bridge the Gap.
Open your bag of ingredients. Ugh. Check for millipedes. Ugh.
You're out. Suspended indefinitely.
And we've returned. Do tell me again who that was.
Sure. A band from Salt Lake City, Utah, recorded this album in Fort Collins, Colorado. The band is Bridge the Gap, and the new album is coming out in the spring. It's called Gainsayer, check it out, but that's the first single, In the Throes.
Does Fort Collins known for like its studio recordings or anything? Or
It's got a great studio there called the Blasting Room.
Oh, I like that name.
Yeah, it's a great studio name.
That's awesome.
But I wouldn't say they're known for it any more than Los Angeles, really. So.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Good job, Salt Lake and Fort Collins.
Bridge of the Gap. Yeah.
Who are we calling now? Wendy. That's who.
Calling Wendy.
Yep. Calling.
For a last talk with Wendy.
Oh yeah.
Of before Christmas.
That's right. Let's see. Will we see?
We'll talk to her after Christmas. We'll talk to her on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I would assume so. At least I would hope so.
Oh no, we won't. We're off that week. Never mind. It's our last Wendy of the year.
Oh, it is our last Wendy of the year. Weird.
My life is a cesspool. I am so sorry.
All right, this is just a little bit of therapy.
What?
It's a little therapy intro.
Wow.
A little therapy intro for you there. That person needs therapy.
What is that from?
A movie I found. I forgot the name of the movie, but it has this British actress I really like. She's doing an American accent there, but now I can't remember the name of the movie. But anyway, I was hunting around for I was like, let's do something different at her last one of the year, and so I found one.
Person definitely sounds like they need therapy.
Yeah,
my life is a cesspool. Jeez.
Yeah,
okay,
it's not good.
Okay.
Anyway, hey, it's it's my sister Wendy. She is a real therapist, helps people with real problems all the time, and she comes on this show every week as often as we can have her and talks about cool ways of helping you people at home. Wendy, we got. For our final one of the year, we got this email. Do you want to hear it or this text?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. This. We'll get right straight to it. For TMS and for Wendy's segment. Hey there, froggers. I have a topic for Wendy's topic of discussion for Wendy. I've seen other chatter online about Disney and Arrested Development. We don't mean the show, we mean the concept.
Right, specifically Disney adults.
Disney adults.
They're called. Yes.
It says mostly it's people blaming Disney for turning society into perpetual children and how damaging it is to the future of society. I personally think it's just another scapegoat, and you could have the same arguments about people overtly obsessed with video games, anime, sports, or anything else. I'd love to hear a professional opinion on it rather than just the noisy anti-Disney internet crowd, says this anonymous poster. This struck me as interesting because even if we can get as specific about the Disney culture stuff as we want, but it really is it's a broader question about when people sort of stop. I think there's a generation before us that were like, all right, I'm now an adult. All of my quote unquote toys go away. Mm-hmm. I no longer read comic books. I no longer go to Saturday matinee cartoons, and I no longer care about action figures or whatever. But then a lot of Gen X comes along. We are heavily branded to with cartoons and tie-ins and cereals and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of nostalgia for all that sort of thing. So you have fully forged adults like Brian and I collecting a ton of Marvel, Star Wars, video games, whatever it is, and we don't, and I could see why somebody would accuse somebody of saying, well, you're just stuck, you can't because the opinion of some is that adults should be more mature somehow than that or whatever. Right. I feel like we've had some real progress at getting away from this stupid idea that this is a problem, but maybe not. So Wendy, with that, throw it to you. How do you want to approach this entire discussion, this topic?
Well, okay, so let's take a broad algorithmic view really quick. I did not know there was an anti-Disney internet crowd.
Oh, yeah.
There's an anti-everything internet
crowd. I assume
Yeah.
so, right? Yeah. But I feel like that's like punching an innocent.
Don't get me started on the anti-therapy Thursday internet crowd. Oh, they're a rough. They're a rough.
They
group.
are mean. Yeah, I mean, I get that, right? Also, like you're engaging in this for a reason, because sometimes, okay, when you talk to somebody and they're like, "Have you seen this thing?" and you're like, "Oh, I have seen that thing," and you're like, "Okay, well, the algorithm has pinged us together and shared our you know what I mean? There's a connectivity that can sort of occur, and then also, hey, what rabbit holes do I go down? And this question is an interesting one because it's not one I have ever run into ever on any of my online stuff. Partly because I clearly am not a Disney person. I don't follow any of it, and when people go to Disneyland, I'm like, yay! Like I have very little feeling about this, and so I'm like learned a lot just reading this, going, well. the texture clearly has some skin in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And or eyeballs on the game, so that's kind of fascinating to me. And then the other thing, like Scott, what you were saying, like here comes a new generation with like a different take, and that's like I guess how progress works, right? You have a new sense of you have a new fandom that brewed and was created, and I don't know what was Rosie the Riveter everyone's fandom before that. Like I don't know what it was. Prior generations necessarily did they have as much access, so would that have developed? And this is just human nature. You give a certain age group certain things, and then as they grow, nostalgia is real, right? And that feeling of childhood joy and stuff. I think obviously branding has played a role. You connect to that. Okay, so let's say Disney is that for you. Actually, I think I sent this to you, Scott, and I don't know if you saw it, but it was a Gen Zer talking about. This ties into what we talked about last week. A Gen Zer talking about like you're gonna criticize the active shooter drill kids who spent hours and hours of their school lives preparing for a shooter. You want us to cry about one CEO being shot in the street, right? And that is a really apt example of this same concept of like you are exposed to certain things that the generation before you is not, and what sticks or what is part of the other generation will criticize, which is the irony. Right? Anyway, okay, so you got Disney. So let's just talk about what Disney does for people. What does Disney think about it outside of these other options like sports, anime, games? Like I think that they're right that as if Disney was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make everyone into children. They're tapping into something versus I think creating it. You could say some of it's created, I guess, but it wouldn't have worked. No one would have bought into it,
Sure.
And that's true for games, anime, sports, anything else you might be really into, you're going to have something. So let's just take Disney though, specifically. Sure. What is Disney? What are elements of Disney?
I can speak to this because I don't consider myself a full-fledged Disney adult, but I'm still the type that likes going to Disneyland. I still like I'm going to see a Disney movie tonight. But it's no different than really any other franchise that's got characters that I like and that I care about. As a matter of fact, it's no different because Marvel is now part of Disney, so it's exactly you got another franchise that I like and care about.
Sure.
But I don't know. I'm a fan of the rides, the experience. If we're talking Disneyland, I still enjoy Space Mountain. I still enjoy Thunder Mountain. I still enjoy a lot of that stuff. The Guardians of the Galaxy drop ride, stuff like that, and the whole experience that they come up with around that. It's not just metal bars that you're walking to until it's time to get on the ride. It's the experience around it. But I don't know. I don't have Mickey Mouse stickers all over my car. I don't have. I've looked down really quick. A bunch of Disney T-shirts. I've got a couple of them. Stitch, because I do like the character Stitch. But I'm trying to figure out what the line is between me and a so-called quote unquote Disney adult.
Because they're
and not that there's anything wrong with being a Disney adult. I mean, if I like it to this degree, what's wrong with somebody liking it more than I do?
Well, that's actually the meat. That's the meat on the bone here, right? Like, is it why is this a problem for anyone? Why can't someone I have neighbors who every day wear some sort of Disney branded shirt, who wear hats all the time that look like they're literally at the park and they're just here living their life, and that go to Disneyland and have some kind of deal where they're going 4 or 5 times a year to Disneyland.
Sure.
And they always go all in, and it's insane, and they cry when they leave. Like
Mitsula's there right now, as a matter of fact. I think he sent me some video yesterday from the park. He's picking me up a couple lightsaber crystals and stuff like that. So he's one of these people that does manage to go, lucky enough to go a couple times a year and loves it.
Yeah, and and obviously there's different levels of fandom out there, and so they're all whatever they are. But I look at that and just go, okay, it's their thing. Why is it a problem that it's their thing? So this is where I break on almost anything. If they're doing something, If they're shooting people, that's a problem for society.
Sure.
If they're throwing stuff off of tall buildings in the middle of a city, that's a problem for society.
It's a big problem. Yeah.
Yeah. If they're getting a bunch of puppies in a box and burning them, that's a problem for society. But if they're going to Disneyland a lot and they're way into it and make sure they go to the movies and get the best seats and they buy all the merch and everything, where is the problem? It's
they're
their
not making
choice.
you do it. They're not making, the people complaining about online. They're not making you enjoy Disney. They're enjoying it for themselves, and why can't they?
And so that's why I think this whole subject is actually not really about Disney. It's about people trying to control other people's wants and desires.
Exactly. Like there are people that get irritated by somebody else being very into a thing because they're not into it. They don't see
Okay, so why? Why do you
Yeah.
guys think that exists?
I think
'Cause
that's
you're right.
I think
Is it a jealousy thing that, man, I wished I liked something as much as that lady likes Disney? Like, is it a jealousy thing, or
maybe I think it's a control thing. I think people like to feel like their opinions are right, and they want everyone else to acknowledge that and also say that their opinions are right. So I think it's a form of a very basic primal form of human control, is to want everybody else to adhere to your worldview. And this goes deep and wide. It can be about fandoms. It can be about politics. It can be about gender issues. It can be about a million things. But if it doesn't adhere to your particular worldview, you will sometimes fight to force others to see it. And, look at most of the reasons most wars start. It's because somebody believes a certain way and a culture that they're trying to convince doesn't. And what happens? You fight. So I think it's that. It's just this is like primal bull crap we do. It's a control issue in my mind. But Wendy, are either of us correct?
Well, I want someone to get a whiteboard out and write a column. For Scott's column, it's control. For Brian's column, it's jealousy. And I think both points can sort of be made. And I'm going to give that actually incorporates both of them a little bit. It actually explains the why of both of those.
We both win.
Yep.
You both win. Everyone gets a trip.
And everyone's saying, by the way, everybody, especially Wendy and I, are saying both today, not both.
Oh, yeah, you guys both said both.
No L. The L is gone.
No L.
Who says
Christmas.
both with L's?
You did. You did before you moved, and I
you
did.
And Scott both did.
I do it all the time. It's something about how we were raised. I don't know.
Now I have to focus to say that.
Know.
That's interesting.
How do you
but
say?
I can say "op" anytime now. Op.
I want to hear you say, "I have to wait for the gym," or no, I have to wait for the train. Say that phrase.
I have to wait for the train.
Okay, you did all right.
She knew exactly what you tried to get her to say.
Yeah.
She overemphasized the word wait.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. So my sweet youngest child picked up "waint" from me and says it cannot stop. And then he also picked up, instead of saying "until," in Swedish you would say "till," T-I-L-L. And he, as a little kid, just said "tills." So he is 12, walking around going, "Well, I'm not going to go there tills we get the phone call."
I love it.
You can't say it like that. And then he says "waint," and then he's picking up Midwestern. It's a problem.
I love Peter so much. Oh my gosh, that's great.
Okay, so yeah, let me do some this will be the background
weave the two together.
psychology of it.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna weave it together, and those are the sort of outward forms or emotional responses that you're going to get, but those are defense mechanisms. Jealousy is a defense mechanism, and control is a defense mechanism.
Okay.
And so let's talk about what might really be happening. I think Disney in particular, what I like about Disney is Disney has truly created a customer-centric, creating a joyful place for people. How often, could the airlines take a freaking note? You know what I mean? What would it be like if we had more spaces where our comfort, granted, it's to make money and they do make a ton of money, but there is so much to it that is aesthetics, design, the way you're moved through spaces. I might want to go as an adult without kids just to see if it is more pleasant, because it's
so much more fun as an adult without kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I can see why there are Disney adults going have you guys been here without little people crying? It's amazing. Okay, but so put that into the context of they've created something that does a very good job at reducing stress.
Yeah.
I mean, think of like how clocks are used in that space. I'm sure there are all sorts of secret handbooks about how this works, right? Like,
yeah, it's kind of like casinos, right? Where the
Uh-huh.
floor is super confusing
Chaotic,
and
yeah.
over patterned, and there are no clocks, and the windows are all tinted, so you can't tell what time it is.
Yeah.
Very, very similar things with Disney, where I mean, the most obvious one is every ride ends walking you through the gift shop. Go
Right.
buy a toy based on the experience that you just had on Space Mountain.
Sure.
Yeah, they don't mess around. But there is an overall pleasant, childlike sort of wonder, surprise, music design. Like even the old stuff is that's the gig, right? I mean, think of the origin of it, right? It was just this like farmland in
Yeah,
California
it was
that
a
had
bunch of
nothing.
orange groves. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just dug out the river first and made. I mean, it's incredible when you
Yeah.
really like go through the history. Okay, so all that being said, what does it tap into? It, Disney probably himself had, the vision and all the skills and ability to get this to fruition. But this comes from a pretty young, youthful, playful space. I don't know his childhood, but I actually should have looked that up beforehand. Anyway, okay, so I'm just gonna, I have a hammer, so here's the nail that I'm seeing, is that when people are mad at that, right? When they're struggling to understand, you can have the thing where you don't understand something because it is so disconnected from you, but that's usually going to create a little curiosity, especially if it's not harmful, right? Yeah. So if I have no context for Disney, I'm from a different country, and I'm like, what is this phenomenon? And I could just be curious, like, Americans do weird things. And you're just sort of open, because it's not in your frame of reference. But when you are not open to something, that's when people need to actually be the most curious. Like, whoa, what is happening for me that I feel anti this or that, right? Okay. So I think the Disney one has a specific one because it's so childhood based. And if people didn't have childhoods like they do, I'd have no job, right? Because childhood has a massive impact on development of self and sense of how the world works. All of that stuff. Okay, so real quick, have either of you seen Inside Out 2 yet?
No.
Yes.
I haven't.
Bro, get on it.
I know.
now.
I've been
Come on,
putting
it's
it
streaming
off.
now on Disney Plus.
I've been putting it off because I know I'm in for an emotional thing, and I'm just, I don't know. I just haven't been in the right mood.
Do you not want to make Carter cry? What's the matter with you?
Oh, I'll definitely. She knows she'll avoid it because she knows I know that. But yeah,
it's so good and a great illustration of like how puberty really works. It's really great. Anyway, okay. So the idea though that is, your sense of self is developing with these various experiences and these various thoughts of like, who am I? Am I a good person? Am I not? And spoiler alert, it's developing a sense of self. Okay. And so when a kid is going through life and there is something really traumatic that happens, it could be abuse, it could be sort of chronic mom's never okay and I'm always having to take care of her, or dad's anger or violence or scarcity of actual resources and things, emotional neglect, I got left at school. It can be small and it can be big, right? But you have these adult, and I'm putting this in quote, adult problems put on a kid, okay?
Yeah.
And what that does is it burdens the child and they have to adjust or adapt in order to survive that burden that's been placed on them. Sometimes it's a one-off burden that now makes you scared of snakes forever or something, right? Yeah. But often it can be like a chronic systemic thing that happens because of the neighborhood you're in, because of the family you're in, etc. And so this burdened kid, I want you to think of it as like the little innocent carefree kid got stuck and the burdened child now has a bunch of protective responses that come to play. So these would be, in using my same terminology, some defense mechanisms, right?
Yeah.
And so the kid at school who gets whatever they want for Christmas and seems to have no problems in the world while you are struggling and your parents can't afford something, that is an adult worry in a kid world. And so are you going to just be your playful, happy self? No, you're probably going to be a little bit more protected and probably a little ticked off at that kid because that is the protective response. The person who is having a good time over there, I can't. For the same reasons they're having a good time, the opposite is true for me. Okay. So the amount of vulnerability or innocence or openness or curiosity, it's just hard to access that for someone else who's swimming in money while you are going without, or whatever the burden may be, or their loving family and your family just screams at home all the time, right? So whatever it is, you've got this sort of closing ranks situation internally, trying to protect you from the harm that is, being face to face with, I'm not safe, I'm not lovable, I'm not okay, whatever the messaging of these burdens have put on you, and your identity is sort of developed around. Okay. So this is complicated. My part of the whiteboard needs to be much longer than your part. So I apologize, but okay. So then we go on in life and we start developing stories about ourselves, and like, okay, I'm going to just work really hard, or I'll get better grades than everyone else, or I will figure out other ways I'm going to be okay. And I start to build my life around some of those things. And some of those things have to be more serious, right? Like, they're not playful kid things. These are, I have to work to help my mom pay the rent. Like, that is a burden on a kid that theoretically we would all say, well, that shouldn't be there. You're too young to have that happen. But what it means is I start to develop seriousness or parts of me that are really like, I'm going to be the best at this, or driven, or I'm angry, or whatever those responses might be. They're not fun, happy games. Okay. So we go along, and then Disney comes along and is this option to go and be a kid and to like sort of play and not be all serious. You take the movies, they obviously, the history of Disney is like, let's teach a little moral lesson and show it in this fun way. Like, there is some losing yourself in a childhood kind of space. And I think for some, they may be getting access to that free little unburdened kid by doing it, right? They might be playing in a way they didn't, because it's orchestrated. Yeah. It's orchestrated for them. They can maybe now afford it or do it for themselves. So it could be really healing for people to have that childhood play. And then for others, think of that kid as just locked away. And so anything that looks like too much play or too simple or too carefree can also feel really annoying and threatening. And that might be like, I don't understand why someone is acting so childish and hanging out at Disneyland when what should they be doing? And then fill in the blank with the thing you think is an appropriate adult behavior based on your opinion and your, right? And so I think there's like a fundamental variance that happens with childhood specific things. So He-Man, I watched He-Man a million times, right? Like, that just brings me, like, it makes me laugh if someone quotes anything from it, or if I see his weird haircut or that great Flight of the Conchords when they're in London. Have you ever listened to their London live? Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Really
Everyone
good.
just drop what you're doing. Anyway, he talks about He-Man. He's like, He-Man, double masculine. Anyway, it's just like going to bring me joy because it's connected to some fun, playful part of my childhood. Am I going to make my whole personality about He-Man? No, but that's mainly because I don't need it to be. And some people might need it to be. It brings comfort. It gives identity. It does a bunch of things that might have been missing or got smashed or got, just needs some nurturing. And so that's what's happening. Someone else might be having the exact flip reaction of like, no, if I'm acting childless or childlike, I will be punished because when I was a child, I was punished. So there's a deeper thread maybe for everyone. And I also might just be overdoing it because I'm a therapist.
Yeah, could be. I just the nagging feeling I have in the back of my head is that when you're a kid. So let's go back to when you're a kid. We have some more of our sort of baseline behaviors come out. So you see a kid, you've got a Nintendo, he has a Sega. And you're like, there's this weird competition now. You've picked sides, kind of. Unfortunately, those sides were decided for you. Marketing told you you were supposed to fight each other.
Which one was better? What does Nintendo don't?
Yeah, you bought into that because you're a kid and you think that's how things really are. And I just see this stuff as an extension of that same primal, well, I did one thing and you're not doing what I did, so therefore we're opposite, and why, and now I'm mad at you, and unless you change to be like me, I'm not going to be like you. And that scales all the way up to, religious strife in this world, or major factional changes, or the division in this country politically, or whatever it may be. It's like that same problem just blown up. And the way I look at it is, especially for something like this, it's like, let them have their thing. It's okay. It's not hurting anybody. And you might say, well, they're just feeding into the capitalistic system that is Disney. All right.
Yeah,
they're not hurting me though. Sure. Let them do it. I do the same thing with a couple other things. I have no room to talk,
Yeah.
Like I was looking at my Steam, you know how you do the Spotify wrap up in the air and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Steam, which is the PC gaming platform, they did it today. It's called the Replay. Apparently, I played 600. Here's my sheet. I put it up for listeners to see. When you might be able to see it too on your phone. I don't know. Anyway, 361 games played. A whole bunch of other data, including 238 of those are new games. Now that sounds insane. All right. Admittedly, I go into these things and I play like an arcade kind of. I don't beat everything. I'll touch this, touch that, review it.
Completion in each game.
Yeah, and I have a show to talk about all this on, so there's a reason I do it. There's business reasons, but all of that. But the truth is, I absolutely love that world. We can blame Dad for getting us all into it because of the freaking arcades in the house and stuff like that. But whatever the reasons, like this is a thing that I love. From top to bottom. I love the creation. I love the weird politics of the gaming business and how screwed up it is, and it's fun to cover that. The games themselves, the creativity, the changes happening now with AI and other stuff. Like, this is my world. I love this stuff. Somebody's probably hearing me say this going, lame. Oh, what a waste. He should be golfing every weekend like me and spending that $300 a week.
Because that game that's a man's game.
Yeah.
It's like an adult game.
That's what you usually find out.
Chasing a tiny ball.
That's what I usually find out.
Drink a beer while you play it.
It's like people who are being critical that way are the same people who have their things and expect everyone to be cool with their things, whether it's whatever, golf or I don't know, whatever they're into.
Well, I think there's another factor here that let me throw in that might be helpful. I think people are uncomfortable with how the world changes as they age as well, right? Like it gets scary to them. I had a recent conversation with some family reconciliation after the election, and so I'm excited. Some of that work is starting, and just helping people understand each other a little better. And this, the parents are quite old, and they have seen a lot of life, and I spent some time just like congratulating them on navigating how much the world has changed since they were young. Like, that's a lot. And that change, when we grip it to like, it was only good when I was 7, I think that's part of it. The simpler, easier way to wrap your head around something is when you felt good, and as things change and it's different and it doesn't make sense to you, or your grandkids are like, you can't say that anymore, Grandma. You're just like, but what can I say? You start to have it's hard to adjust to that. So there is a maybe gripping on, I need to have things make sense. And what I don't understand is someone who wants to play that many video games. There's no way that can be a serious person in my community. My community must be going to crap if there's a guy around the corner who plays this many video games. Well, of course, you don't understand how the world even works in that new thing. And so you're going to, here's a good family man to raise some great kids, and as a grandpa who plays video games, which is like every kid's dream. And it's because I'm not going to judge the things you care about. And people are judging things other people care about, often because it scares them.
Yeah.
It either hits their, I can't play and be a kid. I was forced into the workforce where I had to let all of my inner child joy die so I could pay the bills to feed my family.
Right.
So there's maybe resentment that way. Or there's just, hey, the world is changing. I don't understand it, and it scares me. So I am going to find a thing to make fun of. So I'm going to tell a story, and I know my mother-in-law does not listen to the show. She used to, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So I hope she doesn't listen to this one, because it's out of all due respect, but it was the funniest moment. And it was an exact example of something has changed and you just don't see yourself in the change or the story. And it's okay. So we had to rent a big old SUV so we could fit them in the car with us when we were together for Thanksgiving. And at the end of, you turn the car off and this enormous picture of a car seat pops up on the screen and is like, alarm, do you have your child? For very good reasons, as we all know,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
Also, this thing is a bus. I can't even see the back seat. Okay. And so this happens. And my mother-in-law, this is a woman who brought all of her children home sitting wrapped in a blanket like a burrito on the front seat of a car. That's how those were the car seats she started out with, which were none. Okay. And, eventually had car seats, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she just her impulse was to make fun of that. Her impulse was to say, like, who would ever leave their kid in a car? As if that means, who are these horrible parents, blah, blah, blah. And it took 3 seconds for all of her children to share a story about how she left them somewhere. It was amazing. Like, hey, remember when you left Ben at a random gas station in Ohio for 2 hours? When he was 5? And do you remember? And it was relentless and so funny. And she's like, okay. I guess I can understand how someone could leave a kid in a car seat. And we were like, and also you had no car seats to leave them in. They just got out, it was really one of those like generational moments of like, whoa, everyone should just be careful what you're criticizing. Because if you don't get it for your context, that's because you've been away from it for a long time. And so you don't quite understand it. I don't think, like, when I'm looking at this email or the email, he's like, people blame Disney for creating this. I guess Disney has a lot of power, but that's not the chicken. That's the response to figuring out that people also need a way to express themselves that feels really wholesome, very fun, very,
Sure.
And the curated pieces of that they do such a good job of. Yeah, does it make them billions of dollars? Yeah, it does. If we want to talk about, the economics of such things, that's one thing. But people are just tapping into what people sort of need, right? And so we're scared, or it really is something we can't access, so it feels threatening.
Yeah.
So I would say it kind of fits with both of what you're saying. I just don't feel like it's as nefarious as your control theory stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's a little extreme, but I just think it's like little micro versions of that, like a micro dose of control. Or what you'll see is like somebody get on the news in the 90s and go, Mortal Kombat is going to destroy our children. And most of us could look at the news and go, you don't know what you're talking about. And then we're done with it. And what you would have is probably a bunch of people listening to that going, yeah, they're right. It is the work of the devil. I can't believe Mortal Kombat exists. But we didn't hear from them because they didn't have a megaphone then. Yeah, they didn't have a megaphone to talk to us. Now they do.
Right.
Now
Good point.
all of them
point,
do.
yeah.
Everybody with any inkling of an opinion on the matter has a megaphone. And so that to me is the key difference today. And the obvious difference.
Yeah, it's huge.
And that difference is enough to make things seem worse or seem less or seem more. You know what I mean? Like it just has this artificial thing going on with it. I notice it being done to me when I'm on like TikTok, and TikTok knows that I just watched a horror movie. I just watched Smile 2, which I really enjoyed. I'll recommend it soon. But I just watched that. And sure enough, because a lot of your links and your stuff is going between browsers and other stuff, it knows what I've seen recently. And so it starts to feed me in the algorithm videos about that movie, behind the scenes, talking to this actor, why they did this. Here's the director. Here's the scene I forgot about, and somebody making commentary. And they just start kind of showing up. I think it's really important to be mindful that you are being targeted. And you don't even have to take it as like nefarious, just that that's how the tech works. And know that so that you're not going, oh man, my impression is that the whole world's like me. We all love a thing at the same time, obviously, because I'm getting all this stuff. No, it really just comes down to you just watched it, so they're giving you stuff they think you want to see right now.
Exactly, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Mom got a Kindle and she was so worried about putting more books on it because it was going to get heavy.
Get heavy, yeah.
It was one of my favorite stories to tell. I think the first place I told it was on the show, but I
think so.
She was like, "Oh, I can tell it's heavier now. Put these extra books on it." And I was like, and the worst part about it is I went and researched it, and there's truth to it. But not perceivable truth.
Not in a noticeable.
No, there's no way. It's like quantum
very
level.
Sensitive.
It's quantum level. There is weight to data, but it's so minuscule that no human's going to be able to tell. You could put 6 billion books on that thing if it would hold them. Maybe it would, and you'd never notice that it was heavier or lighter. But the fact that she was right scientifically pissed me off.
She never needs to know that, by the way. Yeah, that she was right at all.
I don't think I told her.
Okay, so when this, and you guys have kept up with so much that maybe this doesn't happen very often, but it is coming for everyone, this same thing. And it came for me the other day because Abe got me addicted to this stupid, it's like Tetris, but nothing moves. It's like block something. And my brain was trained on Tetris. So when I play this game, you don't get to manipulate the shapes or move them directions. You just have to work with what exists. And there is no amount, I guess I could do this for the next 20 years and see if I can retrain my brain, but my brain is trained on Tetris. And as I'm doing this game, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess my generation is showing. Like I can't do it. And that feeling is hard, right? It's hard to lose touch, or it's hard to think you know how the world works and you don't. And you take all the people who were parents in the 90s and were watching their kids play these games, and there's 3 sources of news. They were being told the same thing because it got everyone's attention. And so but their sense already was that this game is taking my kid away from me. Okay. And then I'm told it's really scary and bad. I'm going to buy into that. I'm going to try to restrict it. I'm going to, whatever you did then with your parenting. And honestly, it's a generation showing itself. It's trained in Tetris, right? And then you give them 1 million sources of news, and they don't know how algorithms work. They don't know how any of the tech works. And the belief is similar to, like, I'm being told the truth. And so when I'm working with this family and we're talking about their news sources and why they would never see any news confirming that Donald Trump had raped someone, it's because their news feed never showed them that. They never, ever got to see it, and they were like, well, I heard rumors.
It sounds outrageous to them. Like, they hear that and they just go, oh, now you're doing this? Like
100%.
Right.
Because what country do we live in that we would elect someone who is an actual rapist? It's just, and they're using all their framing from decades and decades of it's women's fault, decades and decades of, well, what was she wearing? Decades and decades of, there's no way, only good people, only good white men are in power in their minds, right? And really that flip of, they didn't trust video games. It's the same generation that solely trusts Fox News, or it ruins their brain the way they were worried video games would ruin theirs. And that's because the technology changed on them, but their brain never updated to, I shouldn't only get one source that is it's going to just make me scared of everything. So I think it attaches to this thing, right? Where we get scared of change, or we get scared of risks. There's other things that start happening as we get older, and new kids always come along, these youngins with their fandangled ideas. And this has been happening for a long time. I think the big difference, though, is we actually listen to kids now, and kids also have a microphone. And so the fact that any generation has been fighting with another is both not totally real, obviously. It's an online phenomenon. It's not like, grandparents are punching millennials when they walk by. But the perception is that it is all that's happening, right? Like, so we have some differences that, none of us are developmentally able to really handle. So good luck to us all. That's
the truth. Good luck to us all. God bless us, everyone. I just watched another one of those. Well, that's interesting. This to me, I don't know why it just strikes at the base of a lot of our problems for me. By we, I mean
yucking the yums. It's
Yeah. And sometimes
as
it's
Adam puts it, it's the inshitification of the internet.
yeah.
It's
Adam's
getting
right.
worse
Yeah.
and worse.
Adam's right.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time you went on a public feed on Facebook, but it's the stupid stuff I've ever seen in my life. I don't think most of it's human beings. Most of it's garbage AI with old people saying it's beautiful. That's it. That's the internet now. F that noise. That sucks.
Yeah. Don't want
Right.
that.
No.
Right. Let's go to Disneyland.
Yeah, let's go to
That's
Disneyland.
the
See you
answer.
there.
Yeah, just the wish it wasn't so damn
Be
expensive.
Disney adults for a day. I'll get my Stitch shirt, Tina Grabber, feeling magical T-shirt, and
That's my only
Yes.
beef is how expensive it all is. I hate how
it really is
so expensive. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Like the original tickets for that place were what, like $10 a person?
Oh, insane. Yeah, but you had to buy like the tickets to get in, and then you had to separately buy the tickets for the ride. So I mean, yes, it was cheaper, but probably with inflation stuff, probably not that.
Yeah,
Probably not drastically cheaper like it appears to be.
it's like microtransactions.
And when you look at the origin, like the very first video footage of Disneyland, and you understand the background scenes. I mean, everywhere were workers trying to patch crap together, and it was not ready. And do you know how it was funded? Like the actual building, they did not have enough money to complete Disneyland.
The Nazis.
Because they weren't- No, they were. I mean, that makes sense. That would totally like be an obvious one.
Yeah.
Boot starter.
No, it's what's the guy with the hat? They produced the show with the
Daft
remember
Punk.
No,
what
the-
the hat?
you know the
There's so many hats.
Angel of Omaha?
the raccoon hats.
Oh, yeah, like Davy
Daniel
Croc, like-
Boone.
Davy Crockett, yeah, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, that Daniel Boone, that whole thing was,
It was
like
right. It was everything was sponsored. Right. It was the Mutual of Omaha space ride and
Davy
the
Crockett, yeah. It was
Tropicana orange juice. This and
and
that.
saving or taking the money that came from the sale of the hats, the proceeds from that was the only reason we have Disneyland, is he had to fund it with another project he was not even excited about, apparently.
Yeah,
So
that
I mean,
Tom
it's
Sawyer Island was huge when the place first opened. Like it was a big attraction, and now it's where you go to hide from your kids.
and this is where I would love I'd love some time travel where we could take Walt Disney and take him right now and say, here is the place that you built. Like it's just incredible, right? Like I don't know who else would a future, whoever invented the train, you know?
Yeah.
Come look at a train in Japan, dude.
Yeah, you want to see a train? Holy shit!
That's a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those people know what they're doing.
They
All
do.
right. Well, this is good stuff. Hope everybody takes it to heart. Great discussion for the Christmas holiday. Maybe forget about critical people around you for a little bit here. Enjoy your holiday. And Wendy, you got any big plans for the day?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. My plan is for everyone to go to KNOW Better You, use the letter, knowbetteryou.com. And we fixed the landing page sort of. And so put in your email in the next week. I'm going to start sending emails out and they will be not obnoxious, I promise. So it's coming soon. I'm getting excited.
Knowbetteryou.com. That means like she said, KNOW better and then the letter u.com. And go sign
and
up.
I bought a bunch of the other ones, so it should get you there if you're like Better You or
good.
Oh, that's a good idea.
YOU.
That's smart, actually.
Yeah.
Well done.
It should all rewire itself. Hopefully, if not, somebody please send me a message.
If you find a
I'm
combination that doesn't work, let Wendy know at
Please tell me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Admin at knowbetteryou.com.
There you
Yeah,
go.
no, I'm very excited. Also, we're doing our annual watching all of the extended versions of The Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
And so, speaking of algorithms, all my algorithm thinks I do is watch Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
So
Yep.
there was one, and I will find it and share with you. If anyone has a question about, it's about the lesson from Lord of the Rings and men's relationships, and it's so good. And I realize I've been exposing my kids to this show for this, this movie for their whole lives, and how interesting the dynamics actually are. You just don't, clearly there's no women who talk to each other in the movie, but the male relationships, there's some cool lessons to learn. So I would love to do an episode on like the influence of certain things on dynamics for people. Anyway, I could send it to you, Scott, so you can see it.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's all my algorithm shows me is cool things about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that'll happen for a while until you're not watching it anymore, and they'll move on to whatever's next.
Watching Yellowstone, and then it's like, here's where you can buy a horse.
Yeah, here's the time Kevin Costner spit on a camera crew guy or whatever. Anyway,
20 things you didn't know about Kevin Costner.
That's right. None of which you really needed to know. Wendy, have a fantastic week and Christmas. We'll talk. I'll obviously talk to you right around Christmas, but give our best to the kids and everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas. All right. Brian, we did it.
Yes, sir.
We did it. I have confirmation that we did it because I know
you get the little achievement unlocked thing popping.
Popped right up.
There.
Yep. Finally got that achievement. I don't have to play this particular day ever again.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
We're done with it. But we do have some stuff coming up. So core at noon today. So if you're you want to get the latest and the greatest, me, John, and Bo meeting up about noon. So about an hour and 10 minutes from now. So come check that out. As Brian mentioned with Coverville,
next week, early next week. Yeah. Basically keep your eye out. Go to twitch.tv/Coverville and just click the little button that says notify me when Brian goes live, because I will go live. I will play a Marvel Snap deck while I'm doing the show, and you guys can listen to the best covers of the year.
Nice. Still a Play Retro on Friday, and of course this show for patrons, TMS Friday, will be tomorrow morning at 9. Join now and you can be there. You get all the ones we've already done too. They don't go away, so you get everything we've done in the past if you join up at any level, by the way. It doesn't matter which one. And Play Retro on Friday as well, 1:30 Mountain Time. Film Sack this weekend. We're recording
Reindeer
on Saturday.
games.
Yeah, we're doing reindeer games. I don't think I've seen it. I thought I had, and I haven't. So
Right. I can't wait to hear. There's I can't wait to hear what your thoughts on it, because I think we watched it last night. There's some stuff I forgot. There's some stuff I remembered, and I can't wait to see what you think of it.
Okay, I look forward to that because I thought I'd seen it. I haven't. I don't think.
Yeah, a super young Furiosa in there too.
Oh my, I'm excited about that, and with boobies too, right? There's boobies
with boobies. And she's always had those though.
Yeah, those came with the package. Anyway, no TMS next week. Just a reminder, Monday through Thursday, we are off for the holiday. We do that every year, but there will be a brand new Instance episode on the 23rd. So along with all that Coverville goodness, you'll be getting a brand new Instance episode.
Nice.
We'll talk about this Siren Isle thing that just landed on Tuesday, and lots to talk about there as we end out the year with that episode. So check that out. That will do it for us. frogpants.com/TMS for all things. And again, get your film in. Get your film going.
Get your film going. What is it? It's a Paramount Plus for me. It was where I watched Reindeer Games, but I think it's probably in a couple places.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Let's play a song.
Okay.
Do you have a song? Let's play
All
a
right.
song.
Yeah. This one's going out to September and Rob. September said today, which was on the 16th, my dear friend Lisa passed on. She was an amazing, intelligent, kind, and eclectic individual. She's been our town's children's librarian for decades. She loved live music and was an avid supporter of our local scene. Her favorite Nirvana song was Heart-Shaped Box, and she'd light up when Rob played it. Pretty in Pink was another of her favorite movies, and I'd been hoping she'd be better and able to make it to a show soon, as he was recently working on that song. I'm glad I took her Thanksgiving dinner this year to the library, or to her house. Her favorite book was The Great Gatsby, and I'm always going to remember her in that world, as in that world. Well, September, sorry to hear about your friend. That sounds rough. And it sounds like she was quite a contributor to the community, especially the children in the community, with the being a librarian. Yeah. You said Heart-Shaped Box. I think it's a great choice. Let's go with a cover by Amber Mark. This was a single that she released in 2020. Here is Heart-Shaped Box.
Those pants are made for frogging, if you know what I mean. I actually don't. Frogpants.com.
Fairly warned, BD, says I.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, you start picking titles.